Personality.
Hello everyone! Welcome to JoJo's Personality TV. I'm your host Josiah.
And I'm your co-host Jacayla.
And our mission at JoJo's Personality TV is to provide opportunities for youth and their parents to explore careers and set achievable goals. Hello everyone! Welcome to Talk It Up on JoJo's Personality TV. I'm your host Josiah.
And I'm your co-host Jacayla.
And today we're here with Miss Tamika Sims of Inkpen Diva.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here to talk more about being a writer, being an editor, and to share some practical wisdom with you girls. And very excited even more because we just finished working on Jacayla's book project, Daddy's Girl, and I can't wait for that to be published. Are you excited?
Yes.
That's good. I'm excited too. And it was such a pleasure working with you. So thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
So, what are some of the ups of your job?
Some of the ups of my job is, so far I have been able to, so this year I have helped writers publish 7 books. So seeing a writer come from just having an idea to actually seeing their book published and available on Amazon, and some of them have it in local bookstores, is a huge deal. Because a lot of times people don't finish the process, but I get to be a part of helping them to birth their book baby. So that is one huge up for my job. Yeah, one big perk.
Is anybody in your family a writer or an editor?
So I don't have any more editors, but I do have one writer. He's a younger cousin. He's 10 and he's in Virginia, and he has actually dabbled in writing poetry. He hasn't published anything, but he's the only one that has expressed an interest in what I call the creative arts that I know of. There may be more that I don't know of, but that I know of, he's the only one.
So what are some downs of your job?
Some of the downs of my job are actually only one down because I really love doing this. One down is having to tell a writer that they need to either get additional support, which means that I need to offer more extensive services to them, or that I've had to tell writers that they need to just trash their manuscript and start over. That is a down because people work really hard on their books, as you can imagine. And it's hard having to tell somebody that I like it, but I think you could do better, let's start over. So that would be the only down that I would say.
So whenever you tell them, like, how do they react? As in, do they cry, or like, do they take it better because it's from you and they know that you really tried?
That's a good question. So I would have to say the emotions are probably mixed. The feelings are probably mixed. It's, it's like somebody telling me or you're working really hard on your channel and somebody says, I like it, but it could be better.
Right.
You've worked really hard on it. You've had lots of interviews and you've talked to a lot of people, and that would be a little disheartening. So I imagine that my writers feel the same way, but I try to come to them from a space of love and make it a little bit easier for them to handle me saying it's okay, but it could be better. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So it's just so that's the thing. You never know how people are going to receive it, but so far I haven't had any kickback or anything completely negative.
Tell us a funny story of something that happened in your childhood.
So, funny story of something that happened in my childhood. So I was about 8 years old. And it was the night before the district spelling bee. I had won the spelling bee for my school, and it was the night before I was representing the school in the district, and I laid all my clothes out, and my mom was like, okay, you got to get ready to go to bed, and I had the bright idea of I was going to shave my eyebrows. They were really bushy. It was really ugly. And so I said, well, I'll just shave them. You see people shave their eyebrows. You thought you could do the same. Well, no, mine didn't come out so good. I actually wound up shaving half of my eyebrows off on both of my eyes, so I had to stand up and represent my school in the district spelling bee with half of my eyebrows. And I don't have any pictures to prove it. But you'll just have to trust me that that was probably the craziest thing that I've ever done as a little girl.
Who inspired you to become a writer or an editor?
So who inspired me to become a writer? So let me tell you the woman that inspires me as a writer. And that is former First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt. She is one of the most prolific writers of the 19th century. And I am inspired by her writings. But prior to me discovering her, I actually started writing in the 3rd grade. I wrote my first play with my best friend, and the teachers really, really loved it. It wasn't published or anything like that. It was something for a school project, but they really, really loved it. And I think that at such a young age sparked my interest in writing. But when I was older, I discovered Eleanor Roosevelt's writings, and I was like, wow, it's so prolific. In a time when our country was so divided, her writings are still true today. So she inspires me even today.
What is some advice that you would give girls our age that are going through a tough time in their life?
Oh, wow. The first thing that I would tell them is that they are loved, and that they're not alone. Oftentimes, when I was a little girl going through certain issues, I always felt like my mom or dad didn't understand. And I think it's important to know that your mom and dad does understand, that they love you, and they would never make any decisions that would harm you. And that it's okay to talk to somebody. If it's not your parents, talk to a trusted professional, a teacher, a guidance counselor, or somebody along those lines. I would say to love yourself. I think at the end of the day, we have to instill the importance of loving ourselves and having a self-esteem at an early age, so that when our young girls grow on to become adult girls, that message has traveled with them throughout their lives.
I would just like to say thank you so much for being on our show. We really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, girls, for having me. It has been an amazing pleasure. I've never been interviewed by young girls before. This is my first time, so I'm so excited. Thank you.
So please tell us how our viewers could get more information about it.
Sure. They can visit my website, which is www.inkpendiva.com, or they can connect with me on Facebook or Instagram, Twitter, at Tamika L. Sims.
Okay, and we will have her website in the link below. That's it, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Talk It Up on JoJo's Personality TV. And all of you guys out there, thank you for tuning in to JoJo's Personality TV. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Twitter. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Be who you wanna be. It's your personality. Be who you wanna be. It's your personality.